Well, hi everybody. I'm alive and well. I just witnessed something that was hilarious in a way. Uh, it was a video by Silver Futures praising and talking, mentioning Barnum. Uh, Ernie got in the comment and a few others, and it was the perfect example of silver goobly gob, where no one, everyone could tell you what they shoulda, woulda, coulda, wanted done today, and everybody can give you the reasons why they shoulda, woulda, coulda got in today, and no one can give you a fucking chart that'll tell you what the fuck's going to happen tomorrow, next week, next month, or what the price of silver will be next year. And some people pay for these some of these services. And why the hell you'd pay for somebody to tell you what happened today when there's 100 different sites from Kitco on down the line to Coinflation to AppMex, where you can go and check the price of silver. AppMex changes it every 10 minutes. Kitco's got one that's standing, running minute by minute, and they all can show you what's going on. None of them can show you what's going to go on. So uh, anybody that subscribes is wasting their money when they could be buying silver. And anybody that wastes their time, listen, um, uh, silver futurist, since he gave up the chickens, I have no interest in watching this guy, because it was interesting seeing his interaction with the chickens and seeing his barn with all the what probably has more value than all the silver he probably owns. Seeing his barn with all those relics and antique tools that he has. But anyway, that's just one of many things that has been bothering me. Uh, I guess you saw today that we spent who knows how many $100 billion on airport security, and there was a report released today that every time airport security was tested, they tested it 70 times, and 67 times people with fake bombs and guns and knives and every other imaginable thing that they shouldn't have been able to get through with got through. So it works out that 95% of the time a terrorist would have got on the plane with a bomb, with a knife, with a gun, with a plastic gun or whatever, and they wouldn't have even gone through a second frisking. They'd have just been passed through. Here, just grab your ticket and get on the plane. So it's frightful, the simple fact that we've spent probably $1 trillion that ended up costing us for all this airport security and the wasted time and the and then somebody will say, well, we caught one guy some back when, well, if you caught one guy, then where are the other 19 that slipped through? That's what the ratio is, that for every one you catch, 19 slip through. And really, who did you catch? I'm not quite sure. I've been able to locate that information. So it's all crazy. And now we got a report coming out today that the Israelis finally have the capability of refueling in flight, and what that means is now they can make it to Iran and back. And of course, eventually, if we don't, they're going to bomb Iran and they're going to call it a defensive action. Yet you throw one unguided rocket into Israel, and everybody goes crazy, even though you're starving, you're preventing medication, and you're preventing from rebuilding 1.5 million people on the Gaza Strip. Now, if we want to take the logic that the Israelis use, then no one would be more able to use that logic than if Iran did a defensive attack on Israel, or if any other number of countries, if everybody on the West Bank did an uprising and started killing off these people that stole their land. Listen, Israel's sitting there and they're living off of the Holocaust, and the Holocaust has got nothing to do with any of this. You can guarantee yourself on that they go around and they kill whoever the fuck they want, but yet and they call it in defense. When is it a defense to fly 1,000 miles and bomb somebody. How's that a fucking defense? But that's what they do, and that's what they do best. And then they come to weeping to us and say, "Well, veto any action that we that comes up before the UN. You know, we'll never have a two countries solution to this. We'll never have any solution in the Middle East as long as the Israelis are playing the U.S. Congress and the idiots in the Congress." But that's neither here nor there. Now, here's an interesting fact that the Iraqi government admits that when they lost these two recent towns in western Iraq, that when their troops pulled out, they left 2,300 Humvees. Well, if you want to buy some stock, buy it in Humvees, because we can't give them to the Iraqis fast enough for them to give them to ISIS. Now, how fucking crazy! Now you're telling me these people, when they fled and they turned their tail and ran, these Iraqi supposedly troops that we've been training for 8 fucking years. We can train a Marine for 6 weeks and send them out to the front lines. We can do that with the Navy, the Army, the Air Force, Coast Guard, whatever. But yet 8 years and we can't train a fucking Iraqi? What the hell? I mean, how stupid was Bush and how stupid was Rumsfeld and Cheney and these people, all war criminals. But what do? Now we're sending 2,000 more vehicles. Now we said we're going to keep 1,000 in reserve and give them the other 1,000. So then, at least when ISIS gets a hold of that 1,000, it'll be their 1,000 against our 1,000. Now, it's ludicrous how this Iraqi government is being run. Now, let me see. I got a note here. What am I saying? Oh, Iran. Yeah. Oh well, we just talked about that. I was recently listening to some articles by Noam Chomsky, and if any of you ever get a chance, listen to his or buy his books. There's a couple great books out. One's called Blowback. Now, there's been nothing, absolutely nothing. No one's selling anything, and no one's buying anything at the flea market. So that's explained my absence. There's just at these prices, no one has anything to sell. Everybody that really needed money, they're beyond broke now, and they've sold everything out there. And those that have silver and don't need the money certainly don't want to sell at these prices. So Tom's going out there looking, but he's not finding any sets. We need a couple of grandfathers to drop dead so their grandkids can sell off these sets real cheap, so I can get a few more sets, I guess. But that's about it. Nothing new in New Jersey. We're in the midst of a couple of thunderstorms here. Things are supposed to rain tomorrow and clear up and be a little cooler than they've been, but nothing like Texas. I guess the drought has ended.